You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, now we're here from Drakewing Gaming, and sub you on Twitter, The Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back out to have a Let's Play episode of Kingsguard, Koshiro's Path. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go. Sorry, that was out of line. It's alright. He's not someone I ever wanted to meet again. But it would be wishful thinking to believe that our paths would never cross again. He is one of the reasons that makes me so hesitant to leave you here. If he wasn't here, I would feel a lot more at ease. It was still hard to believe that someone like Hyosuke was a contender to be an elder. He seemed more akin to a tyrant, like the Mad King Selen. But perhaps he really was at one point not just a contemptuous ball of fur, fury and fervor. Maybe under all of that contempt he might have some semblance of a lost child just trying to find their way in this twisted and cruel world. But even then, that didn't explain why he hated Koshiro so much. Well, it seemed like a difficult topic to talk. Perhaps if you found out the origin, you might be able to get them to reconcile. Having him as an ally would be far more preferable than to add to the roster of people to keep watch over your back for. I don't mean to pry again, but why exactly is it that he despises you? I see why he hates Seshiro, but where do you fit in all of this? The two of us are just nothing alike. We've always been at odds with each other. Like rivals or something? I suppose you could say that we were. Koshiro was now trying to avoid the topic, but you wanted to dig further. Did he do something to you? I mean, even if you two always got into fights, that much animosity wasn't normal. Of all the people, he seemed to hate you the most. We just never got along. Got along? By the look of things, it was like trying to mix oil with water. I could hear him spit every time your name was mentioned, and he seemed to call you a Ganjin or a Gaijin, or like it was some kind of... Never say that word again. Koshiro looked at you as though you had said something taboo. His eyes teared up. It was clear to see. You could only assume that it was an insult. Likely hearing it from you was enough to push him over the edge. I'm sorry, I didn't know what it meant. It means outsider. Someone who not only doesn't belong, but will never belong. I'm going to go. Koshiro, I'm sorry. It's okay, Jake. I just need some time alone. Koshiro got up and out of the pool in a single motion. You couldn't pull your eyes away from his face, not even to look down at his body when he was now clearly flashing at you. After quickly shaking his fur as dry as he could, he left the premises, leaving you in the large bath with nothing but crickets in the distance for company. For anyone to walk away from a member of the royal family without first being dismissed was a huge offense. Were this back in Yusan, he likely would have been severely punished, and even he knew the importance of that as well. But you weren't Yusan anymore, and quite particularly you didn't care. The look in his eyes twisted your gut. I could have gone better. Damn it, I just had to push him, didn't I? Why didn't I stop? You took a long look at the door, hoping that he would come back. Water time. Alright, guys and gals, and we are back. Let's go ahead and jump back in, shall we? Okay. Go after him. Yeah, go after him. There was no point in waiting. You could tell he wasn't going to come back. You needed to make this right. Just saying sorry wasn't enough. Even if you were going to be a bother to him during a time that he needed to be alone to vent, you still had to go. You got out of the pool yourself and nearly slipped. Every part of your body was so relaxed you wondered if you could even get to the door on both feet. Yeah, okay. The cool breeze helped a bit, though, and stiffened your joints. After a couple of breaths, after feeling winded from the sudden rush of blood to your head, you toweled yourself off and headed inside to get dressed. You moved over to your belongings, still in your cubbyhole, but found they appeared to be rummaged through. You thought you had placed them inside neat and orderly, but they were a mess. Worse yet, there were strands of black fur all over it. A gift from Hyosuke? He really knew how to be an ass. You looked around for some other clothes to wear, but there was nothing else you could use other than just a bath towel, and going out like that was just sure to get you more unwanted attention. You shook off as much fur as you could and begrudgingly put on your clothes. They now had a strange musky scent on them, or perhaps that was what you smelt like all along. Nearby your clothes was your sword. How courteous of him to give it back. You strapped it around your waist and hurried outside. You rushed out into the night air, and a chilly breeze chilled you to your core. You had half a mind to go back inside, but locating Koshiro was a priority. The village was fairly large, and he could have hid anywhere. It also didn't help that if he was still wearing his dark clothes, he would be even harder to spot. Just as you were about to bring up your hands to shout for him, you spotted a lone individual standing on a bridge. That orange tail was a clear giveaway. It looked like he was peering over the railing, looking down at the water as the glowing paper lanterns drifted by. cautiously took a few steps forward to test the waters. He knew that you were here. His ears perked backwards as your shoes clacked on the bridge, but he refused to move his head. The fact that he didn't move away again was a good sign, but the silent ones were always prone for outbursts. But he wouldn't do that to you, would he? Koshiro? I imagine you must not want to see me right now. I know that you wanted to be alone, but I just had to see you to make things right. If I knew what kind of word that was, I would never have spoke it. I really am sorry. I promise I'll never say it again. He stirred on the bridge, and you quickly closed your mouth. You thought he was going to turn his head and growl at you, but he simply slumped down and mumbled, "It's all right, Jake. I'm not mad at you. Still, let me make it up to you. I pushed you to speak even when you didn't want to. I would not have spoken if I didn't feel like you should have known. But still, Jake, as I said, I'm not angry at you. For so long I've kept my mouth shut about my past. There'd be no way of you actually knowing about me, about that word. I've gone my whole life with the people in the village just calling me that. But when I heard it from your lips, I just foolishly thought you had meant it. I overreacted and let my feelings get in the way once again." If I could take back what I said, I would. I still shouldn't have been so ignorant about it. I could clearly tell it was an insult, yet I still opened my mouth. Even if I didn't mean it, I should have been more considerate. Jake, you were too kind, even when you were not the one at fault here. Koshiro put a hand on his mask as though to remove it, but all he did was trace around the design. My memories of this place are not ones I'm fond of. I shouldn't speak ill of it, knowing that they still raise me, but I can't help but feel like I wouldn't mind if it burned to the ground. When you told me of the village's destruction, even for just a moment, I wanted to believe that you were right. I don't even know how I can look at myself in the mirror anymore. You wouldn't be the first person to think that way about their home. I, too, often wondered if my life would have been better were the kingdom to fall. Would I be free from my fate as a prince? Would I finally be able to leave the city? I suppose even now that I left, things haven't been much better. If anything, my life has become more adventurous, but I wouldn't say it's the kind that I always dreamed about. Koshiro, I want you to know that I'm here for you. I don't get any pleasure out of causing you pain. The next time I start to ask questions about your past, please let me know if you don't wish to speak of it. I won't pressure you any further. I've been pained by these memories for so long that I don't know if I would ever be able to forget them. But maybe that is because of me. Maybe I am the one hurting myself. Perhaps I am the one trying to reopen the wound, not letting it heal, not wanting to forget. There is only one other thing that I haven't tried to move on. Jake, I'm sorry for asking for so much, but would you bother to lend me an ear? Of course, whatever you have to say, I'm listening. You told me that you know little about me. Of course, that is because I never wanted anyone to know. But I trust you, and this is something that I want you to know about me. About my past, where I come from. You focused your attention on him, your eyes unblinking. You had wondered about him all your life, and now he was willing to tell you. He closed his eyes for a few moments, likely finding where to begin his tale. When he opened them, he had the same fierceness that he showed you when he stood up to Hyusuke. He was ready. He wasn't going to let his past chain him back any longer. I'm sure you have already noticed by now that I don't exactly look like I belong in this village. Everyone here is a wolf, yet here I am, a fox. I wasn't born into this village like everyone else. I have no parents or siblings or relatives. I may have grew up here, but I could never call this place home. Gaijin, that was what all the villagers called me. An outsider. One who doesn't belong. One who would never be a part of their village proper. But why, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Don't apologize. The fact that you have a question shows me that you are listening. You are likely curious as to why I am here. Why is it that they call me that? Why I wear this mask, even. You simply nodded your head. To tell all that I have to go from the beginning, to a village not unlike this one, my true home. I was born into a town of beastmen. We too were well-known spies and espionage agents. We fought to protect ourselves, our people, and also the nation of Yasan. The only difference was that our village was made up entirely of foxmen and women. For the longest time, we were at war with each other. Tension always flared when either clan stepped into a territory controlled by the other. Fights would break out and lives would be lost. And it had been that way for so long that neither side knew not why they were fighting. I tried to find out from Koshiro, but even he didn't know the origins of our vendetta. Speaking of it now almost makes it sound like we were children, trying to get the other in trouble so that mother would punish them. You can likely guess what happened to my home, knowing that I am here and not with them right now. It was destroyed, wasn't it? Yes. I must have been only 5 or so when we were attacked in our own village. Hundreds of bandits swarmed in and destroyed our buildings, burned our fields, and slaughtered my people. They spared no mercy to any of us, not even those of us who were just children. Most of us were not accustomed to fighting, so a lot of us were killed in an instant, and those who could defend themselves were outnumbered and outmatched. In just one night, our entire village, my people, my entire life, was reduced to nothing but ashes eventually blown away by the wind. It is one day that I can never forget, despite how young I was. How did you survive? My parents protected me from the attacks. They picked me up and we barricaded ourselves inside our own home. They came in, 2 large shadows, easily twice the size of either my mother or father, with lust-filled eyes. They threw lit torches inside the house and caught ablaze quickly. Smoke and heat and flames were the least of our worries, though. They came at us, hoping to kill before the fire could. They luckily thought it was some kind of sick game, a struggle against time. They were sadistic savages. My parents fought back against those monsters, but it wasn't enough. They laughed as they slaughtered my parents. Even though the smoke and ash burning my eyes, I could tell they made them suffer. The last thing I remember as those demons approached me was their heinous laughter as they began to approach. And that and their smell. The scent of sweat, musk, blood, and malice. It was only by some miracle that I was spared of their sadism. Someone entered our home and ran up to them, stabbing them in the back, fighting against those demons until they collapsed to the floor, ending their reign of terror. Then whoever that was approached me and must have lifted me up out of the house. I can't really remember. I must have fainted at that point. When I opened my eyes, there was this white-furred beast man covered in soot, helping me breathe. Was that Koshiro? Yes. Was he the one who saved you from your house, then? No. Whoever bought me out of the house his house wasn't much smaller than an adult, and I would have noticed the fur that white. I don't believe he had fur at all, actually. It was also morning when I woke back up, so several hours must have passed. The first thing I was told was that our entire village was destroyed and that there were no survivors save for me. I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon and YouTube memberships if you can. It always helps. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!